Good morning, bears. Hey, we made it to Friday. How super cool is that? So, we're going to do something a little bit different today. I've been thinking about you guys. We've worked really hard this week. And so, I wanted to switch up the morning's activity a bit. I've come across a long time ago something called mystery science. All right, so since we've been talking about animals, I came across a pretty cool activity that we can do together. So let me get this going here. Move this out of the way. All right, check this out. All right, so we're going to take an adventure through a forest and look at 3 different animals. We're going to see what they have in common, how they're different, and what in the world they are doing. So, you ready? Ready to join me? So, this starts off with a bird. Okay.
One of my most favorite things to do is to walk through a forest. Have you ever been in a forest? It's a place that's full of trees. It's just tree after tree after tree. Now, the trees themselves are fun. Some people build forts around them or even tree houses. But there's something else that's great about a forest. I want to show you. Come with me. Let's start walking in the forest. The thing I want to show you are all the different kinds of animals you might be able to see. Oh, look, there's something in the grass. Do you see it? Let's get a closer look. What is that? Oh, look, here's another one. Now we can see what it is. It's a bird. But not just any bird. This is a special bird. A bird that lives on the ground, not up in the trees like most birds. It's called a quail. What do you see this quail doing? Stop and discuss.
What do you see it doing, bears? Look at that. Kind of walking back and forth. Ooh, it's doing something with its legs. And then it's picking at the ground. Why do you think it's doing that? It's okay to say your answers out loud. Yeah, think it through. Well, what is it using its legs for? Yeah. All right.
In today's activity, you're going to get to know each animal that we see a little bit better. To get to know the quail better, you are going to become a quail, just for a little while. It's easy to do. Follow along with my friend Pat. That's the person you see here. She'll be the one you see, and she'll show you what to do step by step.
All right. Hey, Pat.
Now, first, you may be wondering about that word, quail. Its name starts with the same qu sound that starts the word quiet. Let's say the word quail together. Repeat after me. Qu, ale,
Ale.
qu, ale,
Ale.
quail.
Quail.
When you're done with this step, click the arrow on the right.
Ale. Quail.
Now, stand up and get ready to be a quail. Make sure you have some space to move around.
Stand up, bears. You ready? Do you have some space in the room you're in? All right, get ready.
A quail is a bird, so you don't have hands. You have wings. Flap your wings like Pat's doing.
How's that working? Can you do that? Follow along. Flap, flap, flap. Way to go.
When you're a quail, your feet have claws for scratching in the dirt. Scratch with your feet.
All right, try it. All right, scratch with your feet. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Way to go, guys.
When you're a quail, your mouth is a beak, good for pecking. Try pecking.
Try it.
You're not shaped like a quail, so it's tough to peck the ground, but that's okay. You get the idea.
Try pecking the ground, bears. Can you bend all the way over, touching the ground with your beak?
Your feet are also good for running. Quail run more than they fly. Try running in place as fast as a quail.
Run, 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 run. Go, bears, go. Run, 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 run.
Now put it all together to be a quail. Do what Pat does. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. I flap my wings. I scratch the ground. I peck, and I run around. Good job. Let's do it again. I
Try it.
flap my wings. I scratch the ground. I peck, and I run around. Great job being a quail. Go to the next step. All right, now let's sit down and see what other animals we can find in the forest. Watch the next video.
All right, before we do that, can you think of any other animals that you might be able to find in the forest? What about a polar bear? No, there's no polar bears. Zebra? No. What do you think you would find in the forest? All right, let's see.
So now you know what quail do. You can look for quail and other birds like this next time you go for a walk in the forest. But that's only one animal. Let's keep going on our walk. Let's see what other animals we can find in the forest. Now, one thing I like to do is to stop and look on the ground. When we do that, sometimes we find interesting things, like this. Do you recognize these? They're footprints of an animal. That means that an animal probably walked by here pretty recently. But what kind of animal do you think it was? Well, let's follow the footprints and find out. There's more. Oh, and here's another one. And it's by some kind of pond that's here in the forest. Interesting. Look up. Hey, there's the animals that made the footprints.
Raccoons.
It's one of the most common animals in North America. They're raccoons. But what are these raccoons doing? Let's observe them. We'll watch them for a little bit and see if you can figure it out.
All right, friends. So what do you see the raccoons doing? Notice their paws. What are they doing with their paws? What movements are they making? Okay, I see their mouths moving. Are they eating? What do you think? They're in the mud. Why are they in the mud? Interesting. All right.
I know that you want to try being a raccoon. Who
Mhm.
wouldn't? You get to wade in the water, play in the mud, jump and splash. It seems like being a raccoon would be fun. So it's time to pretend to be a raccoon. Follow along with my friend Pat, step by step.
All right, stand up.
Stand up and get ready to be a raccoon. Make sure you have some space to move around.
Are you ready? Thumbs up? Yes.
Imagine you're in a pond. Walk in the water like a raccoon.
Try it. Get down low. Get down low. Try it, bears. All right.
Raccoons have paws like your hands. Use your raccoon paws to dig up and mash the mud. You don't have to worry about getting your clothes muddy since you're a raccoon.
True. Okay. Dig it up and mash the mud. You must be looking for something.
Watch what this raccoon does. Oh, wow, it jumps and splashes in the water. Now you're going to jump and splash like a raccoon. Ready? Bend your knees, and you're only going to do this once. Jump and splash. Great.
Nice work.
Go to the next step.
Try it again if you want. Jump and splash. Way to go, bears.
Now put it all together to be a raccoon. Do what Pat does. You ready? Let's do it. I grab some mud
Grab
and
some
I
mud.
mash, mash, mash. I walk in the water and I jump and splash. Good job. Let's do it again. I grab some mud and I mash, mash, mash. I walk in the water and I jump and splash. Great job being a raccoon.
Way
Go to the next step.
Way to go, bears.
Let's sit down now and see what other animals we can find in the forest. Watch the next video. Now you know some of the things raccoons do. Look for raccoons next time you visit a forest. You never know, you might see them. They're more active in the evening and early morning when it's darker, rather than the middle of the day. So now you know when to look for them. Are you ready to keep going on our walk?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what other animals we'll find. Sometimes I find it helpful to don't just look with your eyes, listen with your ears too.
Hmm.
Do you hear that? Shh. What is that? What's that noise? Look, it's on that log. Whoa, do you know what this is? It's a woodpecker. Now, what do you think it's doing?
All right, bears, what do you see? What is that woodpecker doing? Can you describe the movements it's making? What parts of its body is it using? Its tail, its legs, its head, its beak? Right, now think this through. Why do you think the woodpecker is doing that to the log? Any ideas? Well, let's see if we can learn some more.
Let's get to know the woodpecker better. You're going to pretend to become a woodpecker, just for a little while. It's easy to do. Follow along with Pat. She'll show you what to do step by step. Stand up and get ready to be a woodpecker.
Right,
Make
clear
sure
some
you have some
space.
space to move around. Make a beak with your hands, like a woodpecker. Then practice pecking and looking around, like you see in the videos. When you think you've got it, go to the next step.
Okay, bears, try that. Oh, I'm sure you feel silly, but you look so good. Try it again one last time. Nice. Well done.
Now you're ready to be a woodpecker. Make a beak and do what Pat does. Are you ready? Let's do it. I peck and peck, and then I look around. I peck and peck. What have I found? Good job. Let's do it one more time. I peck and peck. Then I look around. I peck and peck. What have I found? Great job being a woodpecker. Go to the next step.
How was that? What did you find, Bears?
Now let's sit down and talk about what we just saw. What did this woodpecker find in the wood?
Wait a minute. What did the woodpecker find in the wood?
Be sure to watch the next video when you're done discussing.
What was that? I think you saw. It found its food. Yeah, you see that. So it pecked around through the wood to find its dinner. You must be happy now. All right, let's move on.
Today, on our walk through a forest, we saw 3 different animals: a quail, a raccoon, and a woodpecker. We didn't see the animals just sitting there, though. All the animals were doing something. Look again at what the quail was doing. And look at what the raccoons were doing. And look at what the woodpecker was doing. All of them are behaving in different ways. They're doing different things. But do you see anything that's similar about what each of them are doing?
What do you think? What are they all trying to do? All right. All right, talk about what is similar about what they're doing. All right. Well, it looks like they're looking for something. Right? They're digging, pecking, scratching, clawing. Right? They're looking for something. Can you think of any other things that is similar about what they're doing? All right.
These animals we've seen today each had different ways they were behaving. The quail was scratching the ground with its feet. The raccoons were mashing their paws in the mud. The woodpecker was pecking on the wood. But there's something that they all have in common. There's a pattern. Let's watch each one again. See, the quail was scratching and pecking. But notice that the order that it goes in. It scratches, then it pecks. It scratches, then it pecks. In case you don't know yet what it's doing, I can show you what's on the ground there. You can see there are little seeds that were on the ground. Sometimes there's also little bugs. That's what the quail eats. Each time it pecks, it was eating seeds and bugs. Then it would scratch the ground so that it could dig up more seeds and more bugs that were hiding under the dirt. So that's the behavior the quail was doing. It was looking for food. What about the raccoons? Well, in case you don't know what they're doing, let's watch closely. They're walking along the water's edge, moving their paws around in the mud. But let's look closer. There. Do you see that? The raccoon is putting something in its mouth and chewing. Watch again. It's eating something. In that mud there are tiny little snails. So that's the behavior the raccoons were doing. They were looking for food. And if you see them jump into the water like this, that's probably because they spotted a fish to eat and tried to catch it. So the raccoons are eating. Okay, the The last animal we saw was this, a woodpecker. It was pecking at the wood. But why? Well, when you keep watching, watch this part right here. You see that? It just ate something. That was a big, tasty grub, like this. Grubs are creatures that kind of look like caterpillars. Some of them live inside of trees. And by pecking, woodpeckers can get them out of there. So that's the behavior the woodpecker was doing. It was looking for food. All these animals were doing things to find food.
Food.
That's something animals spend a lot of their time doing. Getting food or eating is one of their needs. Every animal needs to find food to survive, and most of them need food every day. So when we find animals out on a walk, very often, this is what you'll see them doing. You'll see them looking for food. What other kinds of behavior might you see animals doing besides looking for food? What other needs do animals have? Think about that. We'll talk about it in the next mystery. Stay curious.
All right, bears. Did you like that? Would you like to keep doing some of our mystery science activities? I thought that was really neat. I think so, at least. Hey, listen, it's that time. All right, I'm going to sign off for now. Next, you'll see Miss Michelle later today, and then Miss Mimi wrapping things up with a bedtime story. Okay, thank you everybody who joined us yesterday for our Zoom meeting, picnic, teddy bear picnic, or stuffed animal picnic. All right, guys, I really, really, really loved getting to see all of you. So until then, let's wish each other well. Put your hands on your heart, all right? We wish you well, we wish you well. All through the day, we wish you well. All right, bears. We'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.